Now that we've talked about our strategic scorecard, remember that was broken up into 4 categories: technology, member segmentation, member value and growth, and leadership development. And those 4 categories were actually the 4 strategic priorities that the board set back in 2015. Typically we do a 3-year planning cycle with our volunteers, so when they met in 2015, they set the priorities for 2016, 2017, and 2018. So earlier this year, back in the spring, we went off-site with our volunteers and we talked about the next 3-year planning cycle. So we met with them to talk about 2019, 2020, and 2021. And one of the things we talked about was, do we want to keep those 4 strategic priorities, or do we want to change them a little bit? And they decided to change them just a little bit. There's not any drastic changes here, but what they did say is that our number 1 strategic priority is talent management. And for that reason, actually later in this video, I'm going to sit down with our new Senior VP of HR, Sam Hammock, and talk a little bit about talent management. What does that mean to her? And understand a little bit about what's coming up in HR. So for talent management, we had 4 intentions under that priority. First of all, we know we have to recruit, retain, and reward the best talent available to us. People are our number 1 asset, and we know that how we take care of you all and how we recruit and retain our talent is number 1. Going into this 3-year planning cycle, we also know that the board is going to be choosing a new CEO. Steve has already mentioned that he'll be leaving us in 2020, and we're going to miss him like crazy, but the board will choose a new CEO during this next 3-year planning cycle. Number 3, we know we've got to improve the technology that we use to manage our talent. We have a lot of manual processes that go on in our HR department. We have a lot of manual processes with our evaluation and with our coaching and benefits enrollment and all these different areas. So we've got to figure out a way to improve the technology in our HR area. And then finally, we know we've got to create some succession plans. We're only as strong as our bench strength, right? So for all our key positions, we've got to make sure when people move around within the organization, we've got folks ready to take that next step. So talent management, number 1. Number 2, technology. 3 main things under our technology. First of all, we want to leverage current and emerging technology to create efficiencies for our staff and opportunities for our members. And what that simply means is we are not going to go off on our own and try to develop a bunch of new apps to go on the phone. But what we are going to do is we're going to find some of those apps, we're going to find some of that technology that exists, and we're going to use it for the benefit of our members and to try to make your lives a little easier. Number 2, we continue to work on our technology infrastructure. We want it to be 3 main things. We want it to be fast, we want it to be future focused, and we want it to be flexible. So first of all, fast. We're in an instant gratification society. We want things fast, we want it now, we want it as soon as we start the process. That goes for you too. When you hit a button in Scimitar, when you try to pull up Laserfish, you want that information to come fast, because usually we're trying to serve our members or we're trying to serve each other. So our infrastructure has to be fast. It's got to be future focused. Tom and his team are building our infrastructure for when we're $500 million and $1 billion in assets. Not to serve a $370 million credit union, but to serve us now and into the future. And then finally, it's got to be flexible. We've got to make sure that our network can control other son of a